Today's video is just a short one on the various applications that a CD 175 carburetor, Stromberg carburetor, is used on. They're used on various applications, anywhere from a 4-cylinder to a V12. They're a constant depression carburetor, they're not a fixed jet. I'm going to make a video on how these work because they're totally different to a fixed jet. You know, a typical Weber or a Carter type carburetor is totally different. Anyway, as I say, I'm going to make a video on how they work. In the 70s, late 70s to 80s, they got faded out because they couldn't deal with the pollution controls. They weren't responding fast enough, and there was a couple of other issues as well. The fuel injection just took over, it was a lot better. Anyway, so what I'll do now is we'll go on to looking at the different applications that these were used on. Here we have the carburetors on a V8 Triumph Stag. As you can see, the carbs are set at 45-degree angle, and there's one carb for each bank of 4 cylinders. This one feeds that bank and this one feeds this bank. And you can see the throttle assembly in the middle to control them. But this is basically a Stromberg 175 CD carburetor, and it's also used on the other applications that we're looking at today. Now we're on to a TR7, and there's a pair of Strombergs on here as well, but it's a 4-cylinder engine. Same size carburetor. Again, this one feeds the 2 front cylinders and this one feeds the back 2. But this time, again, it's on a 4-cylinder engine with different air filters and throttle assemblies. Now here we are with the TR6 6-cylinder engine with a pair of twin Strombergs being used. And as you can see, the back carburetor feeds the 3 rear cylinders, and the front one does the front 3. But again, it's the same unit, different air filters on obviously, and a different throttle arrangement, but it's the same 75 CD as it is on the Stag. Now we're just looking at the MGB, this one with a single Stromberg, again a 4-cylinder replacing the 2 twin SU carburetors. This was part of the pollution controls they were trying to adhere to. Now as you can see, the carb, the Stromberg, is basically the same thing, but it has a bit of a thing stuck on the side. It's an automatic choke controlled by the coolant temperature, and the assembly bolts right where the manual choke used to be fitted. They do work, they're not that great, but they work, and the exhaust unfortunately has to do an 180-degree turn in the manifold to fit the catalytic converter in. So it does kind of limit the power output on the motor, but basically it's the same carburetor as all the other cars we looked at. Now this is using a shot from the ignition video on the Jaguar that I did not so long ago, because the car's back with the owner and it's being driven, so it's not here. So you can see that the engine uses 4 of the Strombergs, and there's 2 on either bank. Funnily enough, only one of the carburetors has a choke on each side, so that's two of the carburetors are choked, the other ones aren't, and that was from the factory. And the throttle works from the center linkage in the center of the motor. This is another shot from a video that I did, and it was on a TR6 valve repair. And one of the things I did, I'd fitted 3 Strombergs on it, put 3 on instead of 2. It's an aftermarket kit. I had to find another carb with the correct throttle shaft so I could connect them together easily. But again, all these carbs are the basic CD 175, and just put it on the car, and the car performs a lot better. And that's it, 3 of them on the 6-cylinder. So now I'm just going to go back inside, and that's it. So there you've seen some different applications for the Stromberg carburetor. As I said before, they come in 2 sizes. They come in 150 and 175, which basically means 1.5" choke and 1 3/4" choke. The ones that I've shown you today are all 1 3/4", a 175 CD. The 150s are used on the Spitfires, which have a smaller motor, the 12 or 1500. and they're used on the MGB as a single one, but it's an 1 3/4, whereas the two SUs are 1.5 inches. So that aside, I'm going to do some 2 or 3 more videos on Strombergs. I'm going to explain how they work for one thing. I think that's important, and then I'm going to do some other ones on checking them off, taking them off a car and then rebuilding them. So that's it for today. You've seen what different applications and how they're used. It's surprising. They're not actually a bad carburetor, as long as they're working. Like everything, if they work, they're great. So if you want to subscribe, that'll be good. To the guys that have subscribed already, thank you very much. And if you want to write to me in the comments and make some suggestions on videos you'd like to see, or more information or whatever. That's about it really. So anyway, until next time, I guess. Thank you.